Happy International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Month. Happy International Women's Month. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Record School. I want to talk a little bit about some powerful women who are part of our record library here at Record School. Specifically, the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, and some of the records that we have in our collection, which we expanded very recently. Look, basically over the past couple weeks. It's really cool. But before we begin, I also want to talk about Shirley Ceasar. So two gospel women, two giants in gospel music. So big up to Shirley and big up to Aretha. So Shirley Ceasar is a very famous gospel singer, gospel pastor, gospel icon. She's even heavy in the internet pop culture. She's the one that has the meme talking about beans, greens, chicken, potatoes, ham, hogs, turkey, murky, chicken, you name it. That's Shirley Ceasar. This is a Shirley Ceasar record that I got. It's pretty cool. It's a compilation, but it's an old compilation on my favorite gospel label, Savoy Records. So the classic Savoy brown label is actually, it's not the brown label, but this is Savoy Records. You can't really see it here. But this one is really cool. But I most recently got this one here from, shout out to Invisible City Records, downtown Toronto, Chinatown, Gary, and the whole family. Now this one's cool because Shirley Ceasar has a really powerful, raspy, soulful gospel voice. This video is for educational purposes only, so please don't copyright me. But I'm going to play you a little bit of Shirley Ceasar as someone who is an inspiration and a peer and a sister and a mentor to Aretha Franklin, who we'll get into a little bit later. So we got some mentorship going. Shirley Ceasar. This track is called We're Gonna Tear Your Kingdom Down. Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down. Now, what's the story behind these records? It's not just that they're cool records in my collection. That's not what I want to talk about. I wanted to share I want to share basically that each of the records that I'm going to show you today represents community and an experience beyond just the song. So what I mean, if you listen to this Shirley Ceasar song, tell me if you don't feel like you're actually in the room with Shirley. Here we go. Kingdom down, Lord, Lord. I heard a mother say the mothers are gonna break your kingdom down. Oh, you better watch out now, Satan. So right there she says the mothers are gonna pray your kingdom down, Satan. Basically, the way the vocals in the choir and the recording of the song on a vinyl record make you feel like you're inside of a huge vibe. So that's something that I think is really important. And that's something that I look for when I'm collecting these records. So that's what a lot of the Record School Library records are all about. These records are recorded live. So we become in the room with Aretha, with the choir, with everybody. We'll never. That's a track called Never Grow Old. Now this is a really special album. This is called Amazing Grace. Aretha Franklin, it's produced by James Cleveland, Reverend James Cleveland, who is a gospel giant, very soulful dude. Also has a very traditional raspy gospel voice, incredible. And the Southern California Community Choir. This is a classic. It's cool. It's also features on the cover art Aretha in her African headdress phase. It was recorded in 1972. Now, from the record collector, crate digger point of view, the first copy I got of this was a little mashup. So I had to get 2 copies, which makes me very, very happy. And I had to purchase the Spike Lee directed DVD because this was on Netflix for a moment, and then Netflix yanked it off. I don't know why. That was a terrible mistake. But so this is good for me. There's also a 50-year anniversary edition of the vinyl that came out, which has a different track listing and has some extra songs from the choir. That's pretty sick, so I'll probably grab that. But shout out to Aretha. Now, thinking about her, so this is how she looks in the concert. She has a beautiful gown on, a lot of afros. It's so cool. So you have one look on the cover, then in the actual footage of the film, you got another look, right? There you can see there a lot of afros and very thick ties by Aretha and Reverend James Cleveland. Interesting too, and the thing is, you're in the room, so it's not just the songs; it's everybody else that was creating the vibe. The whole community is part of the listening experience. Now, Aretha Franklin's African head wrap phase is also present on the Young, Gifted, and Black album, which has Rocksteady on it. And there she is again. We appreciate the Afrocentric Aretha. We appreciate that, nod to the culture. This one is a really cool album. This one is not really recorded live or anything, so you don't get the feel like you do with the gospel records, but I just wanted to make the connection. I think these are the only two African head wrap Arethas that are part of that. So we appreciate our Queen Mother of Soul, Aretha Franklin, in all her different styles. This is also another record from our Record School library. This is the second live gospel record that Aretha Franklin did in the 80s. This one is called, I think it's called One Lord, One Faith, One Baptism, I think. Let me see. Yeah, it's called One Lord, One Faith, One Baptism. Now, this is in the 80s. I think I prefer the first one. I prefer Amazing Grace, but we appreciate both. This one is cool, though, because, again, you get the same feeling of everyone being in the room. The community is there when you're listening. This one is cool because she went to Detroit. She went back to her roots in this one. Now, instead of Reverend James Cleveland, why do I keep saying doctor? Instead of Reverend James Cleveland on this one, her prestige has gone up a little bit. So if you think of gospel music, black culture in the 80s, Reverend Jesse Jackson is a big deal, right? That's a big name. So Reverend Jesse Jackson is all over this album, which is fine. Here's a fun fact that I wanted to share. Since she's in Detroit, can't really see the cover. Here's no African head wrap. She's no African head wrap this time. She's got a bit of a thing going on there. You know what I'm saying? But maybe she's paying homage to a fellow Detroit Queen of Soul, or maybe she just did a jack move, but she stole Anita Baker's haircut on this album. If you see the covers, aesthetically, she's got the Anita Baker going. She's got the short perm. You know what I mean? I'm like, Aretha, you stole Anita's hairstyle on this cover. So shout out to Anita, right here. Let's take a moment to appreciate Anita Baker's unique look. Boom. Shout out to Anita. We love Anita, and big up to the D. Now, so this one is also quite powerful, and we want to appreciate it. We want to appreciate all the phases of Aretha Franklin, our ancestor, during Women's History Month and during every other phase. Let me play something else real quick. Again, this is educational purposes only. Educational purposes. Do not copyright me, please. The estate of Aretha Franklin. We're trying to bring everyone into the room. Whoops, that was Shirley Ceasar. This is Aretha. Brings me a lot of joy. It's a different tone. This is kind of a slower, very deep vibe. On the real note, I was talking to some friends about wellness the other day, and like the idea of everyone defines their own wellness and well-being. And so for me, a lot of this music, these vibes and the feelings that they exchange, this is what wellness feels like to me. Another person I was talking to, they said, yo, this music sounds like at a funeral. And I said, maybe, that's a good point, but I love it. All right, I'm about to wrap up. What I wanted to do is share a couple other examples of Aretha Franklin albums that we have in our record library, which also are incredible. So this is another live record. People who know Aretha know this one live at Fillmore West, also in California. I think it might have been recorded around the same time, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised. Let me see if I can get the date. I don't know. But I'm not sure, but I think it's probably around the same time. Her afro looks quite the same length, you feel me? Also in California, it's a live album, so you feel like you're in the room. And a lot of the choices that I make when I'm looking for Aretha Franklin or classic soul, funk, is who's involved in the music. What community is putting the music together? This one is interesting because this is an Aretha Franklin album that I think is kind of a dud. However, she's working with Quincy Jones on here. And I don't know, they went a little bit left, but you would think that Quincy Jones and Aretha Franklin on paper, especially going into Afrocentric Egyptology, is a winner. I give this album, this one here, called The Other Side of the Sky, I give it a bit of a C+. Now, this probably is another couple of my favorite Aretha Franklin albums. I would advise anyone to get a copy of the Jump to It album. The cover's a little bit very 80s. We're getting into a cheesy section. However, this is an album produced by Luther Vandross. This is a winner. This album is a winner. All the songs have the Luther Vandross, never too much 80s kind of disco soul to it, but in a perfectly more soul, less disco. Let's put it that way. And we want to give a shout out to brother Luther Vandross, also an ancestor. But look at that smile. So if we're talking about 80s era Luther Vandross, here's an album for you. This one's called Busybody. Pretty good. So if you have Luther producing Aretha, for me, I'm like, okay, this is something I want to be involved in. Now also this one here, this is Aretha Franklin being produced by Curtis Mayfield. This is also something you should check out. This is a great album. This is Sparkle. It's from the Sparkle soundtrack. I haven't seen the film yet, but I'm all over the album. I have a couple copies of it. This one is my mashed up copy, but what I look for is two things, or what's special to me is two things. Being in the room and being in the community of the music when it's playing. So these gospel albums, you can feel everybody, right? You're part of the whole scene. You're with everybody. And also, if the producer and the artist make a great match, such as Aretha and Curtis Mayfield, or Aretha and Luther Vandross, right? Or Aretha and, Quincy Jones, where they make it upside down. Yeah, so big up yourself. Check out some of these albums. Tell me what you think. What are your favorite Aretha songs, soul songs, Shirley Ceasar songs? Uh-oh. If you like Shirley Ceasar, or let me know what you like. I appreciate the feedback. Please follow the channel if you get a chance, and take care of yourself. Peace.